Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, an alliance more ultimate than Patrick and Mark? It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including the announcements that came out of the Game Awards. And then on Thursday, come back for our review discussion of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mark, in the meantime, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Patrick?
Oh, that's it is nice to have that question pointed back at me. It was a difficult day at work today.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah, it's not that's not fun when like you have a bad day at work, and that's one thing, right? Then you're like the day at work was a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
But then like you come home and you're like, I'm not having that experience anymore. But like you still sort of are.
It lingers like
It
a bad
lingers.
fart.
Like the worst fart. So that's what my day was. It was a bad fart. And I'm just trying to shake it off now. The kind of fart where you're like, do I need to take a shower?
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm feeling right now.
The kind where like you're wondering if it's following you around everywhere.
Yeah.
Like can everybody else smell this?
Yes. You know that you still can.
Uh-huh.
But you're like, am I hypersensitive to it? But then you're like, maybe the opposite is true, and I've like become accustomed to it. So people like on the other side of the block can tell. It's tough, man. Bad days are no good. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Not all of them fart related. But speaking of farts, if you would like to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces for the Nintendo Switch, you can. All you got to do is send us an email with your address to Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. And I send it to you. You play it for as long as you want.
Then you send it back. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not super complicated. You know, it is super complicated. Is our next ranking episode.
That's right. Coming pretty quick.
Yep.
January 10th, less than a month.
Yes.
TikTok.
Yes. We are going to be ranking series contributions to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mark, what does this mean?
Okay. So there are a lot of big franchises
Yes.
represented in Super Smash Brothers. Which one has the best contribution?
Yes, we are saying that contributions can be related to size, they can be related to quality. If you think that Little Mac is such a good character that his one inclusion and one stage, right? You're like, Punch-Out is the best. This is what we need to know. We are going to rank all of the series that contribute to this game and determine who contributes best. And we need your input on that because it's an impossible thing that we're trying to do.
It's a tall task.
It is the tallest task. And, you could say Fire Emblem if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
Whoa. Mark already throwing fire. Spitting fire. You can write to us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. And, make your case. Try and convince us one way or the other for whatever series you think should or should not be well represented. That's it, right? We figured that out?
We did it.
Perfect. Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. We have, of course, both been playing Super Smash Ultimate, but we're going to be talking about that on Thursday.
So we won't say really anything else here.
We won't say really anything else here. One thing I did want to point out, and they are on the table right now, is that the same day that Smash came out, a bunch of new amiibos came out. And I have all of them except the Smash Inkling Girl, because I was already getting 3 other Splatoon amiibo that day. So I figured, come on, let's try to limit let's try to limit it here. But it's in front of us right now are the Octoline boy and girl and the squid itself, and Ridley and Wolf. And I gotta say, they all look pretty good.
Yeah, they look really good. Seeing them all together, it's like they're separated into two teams, Team Pink and Team Purple, because Ridley and Wolf both have like
A lot
purple
of
going
purple.
on. Yeah.
And Ridley even has like sort of the same pink on his wings too. So like,
yeah.
they're all kind of rocking the same color palette, which is interesting.
It's nice symmetry. It rhymes like the prequels.
Yeah. Mark, don't you dare. Yeah, and suggests that purple is perhaps an evil color.
Yeah, okay.
Purple and pink are evil colors according to these amiibo.
Well, is pink because correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I will.
Because I haven't played it. But the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2, I assume that it like humanizes the Octoling characters.
I mean, to the extent that even the Inklings are humanized, right? Like,
sure, I guess makes them more sympathetic. Not really.
I mean, they're all the most you can ever characterize an Inkling or an Octoling is that they look cool, right?
Uh-huh.
And they look cool.
They do.
So there you go. Mission accomplished, Nintendo. Mark, what else you been playing this week?
Not really anything. I did download the Katamari Damacy reroll demo, but didn't have a chance to play it.
Oh.
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to playing and have not yet downloaded is Guacamelee 2 came out to Monday, so just yesterday. And I am looking forward to grabbing that. I also played a little bit of Super Mario Party this weekend. Was at a friend's house and pulled out the Switch and got some 4-player Mario Party going.
Are you guys doing the classic board game style?
Classic board game style. In the like the fifth map, the fifth board, which like allows you to it's focused on, it's like a coin tower, right? So there are coins everywhere and people are making a lot of money and buying stars real quick, and the stars don't move around in this one like they normally do when you buy it. Like Toadette moves to a new location with the stars and you gotta like chase her down.
Is that something with that board, or is that a setting that you
was just that board.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the game remains fun. It remains an effective, silly way to pass an hour with people that you want to yell at the whole time. So, yeah, not good enough to win Family Game of the Year at the Game Awards, but, we'll get to that in a second. All right, so that's what we've been playing this last week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Tomorrow, December 12th, 3 new games are added to the NES Switch Online.
Yeah, they are.
Wario's Woods.
Yep.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yep.
And Adventures of Lolo.
Mark, I am giving this my first ever triple yep.
Oh, wow.
Triple yep.
That's pretty good.
All 3 of these games are great games. Wario's Woods is, I know I've talked about it on the show before. I usually bring it up as like a punchline of like, here's a game that I like that no one knows. But it is a genuinely cool game. It's a falling block, like match 3 style game. But where instead of controlling the blocks as they fall, you control Toad as he runs along the bottom of the board, rearranging things.
And I think I also ask this every time that we talk about Wario's Woods.
Wario's the bad guy. Is that the question?
Yeah. And like Toad has wandered into his domain, and so he's cursed forever, like Sisyphus, to rearrange these objects in a never-ending.
Roll a bomb up a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Although you only fight Wario, you're only going up against Wario every like 5 levels. Otherwise, it's just Birdo. But I love the way the game makes you actually traverse like the falling blocks, like as they are laying on the ground. You're not like running in front of them or anything. You have to like climb up them. And if you're holding something in your hand, you can't like climb up. And so there's a lot of just like figuring out how manipulating a piece inside the game board actually works to like clear out lines and match things up. You can do a thing where like he just like kicks a bomb all the way across the floor. It's super fun. It's a really good game. And like, especially when you start comparing it to the other late NES puzzle games like Yoshi and Yoshi's Cookie, like this one is the best. It's perhaps a far cry from Tetris and Dr. Mario, but those are like world-class games, right? This is still at least a hemisphere class game.
So it's like Donkey Kong Jr.
Sure,
Like in that like kind of.
but a puzzle game.
Well, I mean, class of game.
Sure. Yes. But yeah, great game. Totally recommend actually spending some time with it. Ninja Gaiden, also an awesome game, and especially if you have checked out the Messenger on our recommendations, this is sort of like what the Messenger is aping. This game is also available on the NES Classic, so maybe you've already been playing it there. Have you ever tried to play through Ninja Gaiden?
No, I rented it from a video store when I was a kid, but I found it way too challenging.
Yes, and the game is too challenging. But I tell you what, with you put in some save states and a little bit of rewind, like I am there.
Wait, but yeah, save states you have in the NES.
Yeah, both are true.
Switch Online.
Yeah, I'm just you can take this with you.
You don't have the rewind feature.
Oh, you
do you?
don't have rewind. That's just on the Super NES Classic. Well, okay, then it's still gonna just be save states. And then the last of these games is The Adventures of Lolo, which is just it's an overhead view, and you play a little blue ball named Lolo, and you're trying to rescue his girlfriend Lala, and it's just pushing blocks around. It's just pushing block puzzles. You remember when we were talking about Game Boy games, and I was talking up Quark the Chilled Tomato?
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly like that. So I'm just gonna compare one obscure game to another obscure game, but it's got really good like thinky where you're looking at it, and you know those like 2D Zelda puzzles where you're like, okay, so if I push this here and this over here, no, it's gonna block me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well if I do this, all right, okay, I'm just gonna try it. That's what this whole game is. It's just level after level of those, and there's like a ton of levels too. It's a great game. I think all three of these like. This is the first one that I'm excited, like legit excited for every single game on there.
Do we know like any titles past December?
No, we are reaching the event horizon here. This is all we know. If Nintendo is planning on putting out more NES games, if they did 3 every month for like another year, that would be incredible.
They have to, right?
I don't know.
I feel like this can't possibly be it.
Well, yes. Well, right.
There are a lot of like heavy hitters, like obvious heavy hitters
right.
that haven't made the system yet.
Yeah, for sure. And we will continue to see them, I'm sure. I just don't know if it's going to be at the same pace forever. But I think this is where the last 2 months have been kind of Solomon's Key. And what else has even been in there? Some weird stuff. But I think all 3 of these are great. And I'm sure someone will say, hey, Patrick, 2 of these are also weird. But I think these are all good games.
Weird things can be great.
That's true. You downloaded Katamari Damacy.
You were pointing at me so like...
Well, I was going to say you played Katamari Damacy, but you didn't. You downloaded it.
And then next Monday, Firewatch comes out.
That's exciting. Firewatch was a game that I skipped when it was on PlayStation, but was interested in. It's probably the same scenario here that I am interested in, but will likely skip.
Yeah, I've I don't actually know that much about it, although I've heard a ton. As in, like when it came out on the PS4 and on PC, it was really well received.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it is? We can look it up later.
We can, in fact, look it up later. But in the meantime, is there anything? I mean, I guess you're going to try out the NES games probably because I've talked them up so much.
The nice thing about it is I'll give them a shot. I gave Solomon's Key a shot.
Yeah, because they're free. or you're already paying for them, I guess, is the thing of it. All right, Mark, let's close out this segment. And now it's time for a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433 where where a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, today we're going to be talking about the Gold Rush
1849.
And would we be any good at it? you posed this question. What's got you thinking about the gold rush?
I'll tell you. We were looking for a topic, and I said the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, this is a little peek behind the curtain here. I feel like I would be bad at the gold rush.
Yeah, I think I would be bad at the gold rush itself. I don't like being cold.
I don't like being cold. I don't like being dirty. I don't. I feel like I don't have the necessary like aggression to like cheat
Ward
people
off.
out of their shares.
Oh,
or
sure,
whatever.
like ward off other like prospectors.
Yeah,
It feels like you need a lot of grit.
You do need a lot of grit for sure. And if I've learned nothing else from Deadwood, it's that like people are gonna backstab you,
Mm-hmm.
and like you gotta have your. Look, I'm a cooperative guy, right? I like
Handshakes,
I like handshakes. I like riding tandem bikes.
barbershop quartets.
Well, let's not go nuts. Here's a thing that I feel that I can't justify in any logical way, but anytime I hear people singing music a cappella, either a barbershop quartet or like an a cappella group, I am reflexively embarrassed for them, even when it's good.
It's a little bit obnoxious.
It is.
Inherently,
Yes.
acapella music is a little bit obnoxious because it's like there's just a tiny bit, unavoidably,
Uh-huh.
of look how good I am.
Yeah, look how well we do this. You can't do this too. Right?
Right. It's like I don't. Maybe we're a little bit angry at it for different reasons. I'm a little bit angry at it because it's like we don't need instruments.
Oh, I see.
Right?
They're
It's
flouting
like
convention.
braggadocious. Yes.
Right, yeah. I think both criticisms are legitimate, and I refuse to apologize for being embarrassed by a cappella music. And look, I get it. If you do it and you love it, then
Good for you.
You're
That's
just
amazing.
wired differently than I am.
Yeah.
Feel no shame. But I don't think I could. How did we get to this?
The grit.
Oh, barbershop quartets.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. I feel like I would be. I feel like I would be bad at it. Just like I think you have to ride a horse, right?
Oh, camp at least.
Okay, so both strikes 1 and 2 right there. I don't like horses. How do
you
you
don't trust them? I like horses.
They're too big.
They're large.
Horses are large. They've got
What about ponies? Do you like ponies?
no. It's just a small horse.
But if size is your concern,
I know what like the base form of a horse is. You change it a little bit, and I'm not like, well, this is a better horse. I know it's still a horse. Their teeth are too large.
what about a mule or a donkey? How do you feel about donkeys?
I've never known a donkey, so I don't know that I can speak to it. It feels just like a worse horse. Is that correct? Is that
I think they
right?
have a different use, for sure.
They are all beasts of burden, Mark.
So I think I would be bad at like the prospecting part, but I think I could be pretty good at starting a goods store.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be like the merchant. You're gonna be the guy in the shop. Excuse me, in the shop.
Yeah, like I'm not
selling
going
trowels or something.
Exactly. I'm not going to prospect. I'm not going to like pan for gold, but I'll sell you those pans for
Now,
sure.
Are you not worried that some grittier gold rusher is going to just try to take them from you?
Oh, wait. Do you mean like
You're
rob
in-
my store, or do you think, or
Yeah,
do you
rob
mean
your
like
store.
another merchant is going to come in and try to
Nope.
like muscle
Not-
in on my territory?
Not a merchant. Someone who is there to pan for gold. Oh, well, I guess we will.
We won't know for sure.
We will never know. We were accompanied today by the Royal Center School of Speech and Drama. Okay, Mark, let us get into the news. Sorry if I sounded distracted at the end of there. I found the price for Firewatch on Switch. It's $19.99.
Oh,
Which seems like a pretty good price for it.
yeah. Maybe I will pick it up. I have a lot of gold coins.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Use those gold coins.
Hey, the Game Awards were held last Thursday night,
Hey, Game Awards.
and we got some cool Switch reveals out of it.
Let's talk about all of them.
So Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to Switch next year alongside the Xbox One, PS4, and PC versions.
So Mortal Kombat 11. That's a crazy thing that it's coming to Switch. The last couple like NetherRealm games have the last 4, I guess, with Mortal Kombat, just Mortal Kombat, which was the 9th one, Injustice, which is the DC fighting game, Mortal Kombat X, and Injustice 2 were all huge hits, like several million sellers, and it's super cool to see a game that big from a third party that is like so cutting edge graphically and in terms of like computing power is concerned, is bringing their game to Switch.
Yeah, it is. It's really exciting. We're gonna get a full blowout on the game in January.
Yeah, at a fan event, and then the whole thing's supposed to come out like in April, right? Like it's a kind of quick turnaround from announcement to actually putting it out,
which seems more and more common if you're not Square Enix.
I mean, come on, fish has got to swim.
Indie game Donut Country is coming to Switch on December 18th.
Now, I do believe the name of this game is Donut County.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. You are, of course, right.
Donut County looks cool. It seems like a Katamari with like a sense of humor.
Yeah, the only thing that I really know about it, I think it stars a raccoon. Is that right? Are you a raccoon?
Yep.
And the only thing other than that I really know about it is that I saw the headline for a Verge think piece about how this game is about. I just forgot the word.
Describe it to me. Let's see.
Okay. So
can you act it out?
It's like I don't know that I can.
Okay, 3 syllables.
Okay. It's like when white people gentrification.
There we go.
How a Verge think piece about how Donut County
how
is
would
about
you act that
gentrification.
Out? Ordering a latte? Well, interesting. I have heard only good things about Donut County. So
Same.
That's exciting.
Activision is remastering the PlayStation 1 kart racer Crash Team Racing. It's a Crash Bandicoot game, if you're unfamiliar, as Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. It's coming out next June. It's hitting all the systems, including Switch.
And so, the Crash Bandicoot, what did they call this thing? The
Crash Bandicoot remastered, like
Insane Trilogy.
That's it.
That's what it was. Whew, that was a scary couple seconds. That obviously came to PlayStation first, and then came to Switch and maybe Xbox.
Xbox, well? I think, yeah.
And so now they're bypassing that limited time PlayStation exclusivity on this one and just bringing it out. Does this do anything for you?
No, because I have room in my heart for one kart racer, and that's Mario Kart.
I have room in my heart for up to 3, but there's Mario Kart, there's Mod Nation Racers, and there's Diddy Kong Racing. So I mean, it's my heart is full. Plus, that Sonic the Hedgehog racing game is coming out too. So maybe there's partially room, bless you, in my heart for a 4th, but not a 5th. Mark, not a 5th.
And if there was a 5th, it'd be Garfield Racing.
Oh my god, and the Nicktoons Racer. So why are there so many kart racers?
And that's just the licensed one. Some of them,
right?
Sayonara Wild Hearts is coming from developer Simogo.
What do you know about Sayonara Wild Hearts?
It looks bonkers, but really fun. Okay, so
this is an announcement that I missed.
Oh, okay. So I guess Simogo Games, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, has previously been a mobile developer.
Okay.
So this is the first game that's coming to consoles, is my understanding. So it is a music game of some sort. Have you ever played Just Dance?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how like the people you are supposed to follow? It's all like neon colors, and they are very like stark.
Sure.
That's basically what this game looks like.
Oh, interesting.
Except you're on like a motorcycle and you're riding through different genres of music, because it's supposed to be like you're riding through a music video.
See, now this is cool.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
That sounds really good. Do you think that the name of this company is based on Green Lantern of Earth Jessica Cruz saying hello to this sentient planet that houses them? She's saying hello, and because she's Hispanic, she's saying in Spanish, C. Damn it, that's yes, and not hello.
I was wondering where that was going.
She's saying yes to it. She's saying C, Mogo.
I do think that's where it came from. Okay, so last week we tried to guess a little bit about what Nintendo's big Game Awards announcement was going to be. There were lots of rumors that Metroid 4 was going to be shown, or maybe we'd see a Metroid Prime trilogy remaster, Bayonetta 3, something to that effect.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, Skyward Sword was still in the mix at that time.
We were all so wrong.
About as wrong as we could be, right?
How was anybody to know? And that's what made this announcement so crazy, is that Nintendo's surprise announcement, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, is a Switch exclusive coming next year, developed by Team Ninja.
What is happening here? Who made the other Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
So they were released by Activision,
Okay.
and it was like Raven Software, at least did the first one,
Okay.
I think.
But so, I mean, obviously, like, Disney's kind of regaining control of their Marvel video game licenses and sort of farming them out. You know, the Insomniac made the Spider-Man game, and we've got an Avengers game coming out from Square Enix at some point. So this was just like another one that like Nintendo and Team Ninja were holding on to for some reason.
Well, not holding on to. We're like, I
mean,
don't know
if
if I don't know if I would be interested to know the genesis of this. Like,
Yes.
did Team Ninja get the rights to it? Did Nintendo pursue the rights to this franchise and then give it to Team Ninja to develop? Like, it's there hasn't been one of these Ultimate Alliance games for years now. I think the last one was on like PS3, Xbox 360.
Yeah. I think that's right. But yeah, so it is exciting. It seems like it is based, pretty strongly on the Infinity War stuff. The Black Order of the title are, Thanos' generals. But it doesn't seem like it's slavishly devoted to the MCU because Wolverine is in there and he's wearing like his classic like yellow and blue outfit, looking crazy. But we didn't see a ton of X-Men in it, just Wolverine, I think, in the trailer that they showed. And how do the Ultimate Alliance games play? Are they Diablo-like?
They are very Diablo-like.
Great. If this is a new Diablo game, but with a Marvel skin, like I'm there. It's a day one purchase.
And I had a lot of fun playing both of the previous Ultimate Alliance games.
Yeah.
We me and my friend played them co-op like the entire way through on the PS3. It was a really fun experience.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful, and I look forward to doing it on Switch, which means I can do it in a coffee shop or on the plane.
And then the night just kept getting crazier because, hey, Joker from Persona 5 was revealed as the first DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Now, this is insanity.
This is really funny and cool and...
Really funny and cool. Okay, so let's talk about everything that this could mean. Starting first with, does this mean there is a home for Persona 5 or other Persona games on the Nintendo Switch?
So I don't think this means that Persona 5 is imminent.
Right.
But I do think that we've seen Atlus do these like second versions of Persona games in the past, like Persona 4 Golden on the Vita.
Yeah, that's
right. And I think
did Persona 3 had one. I don't know what it's called,
or something.
Yeah.
So it's not unprecedented, and it makes sense to put it on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean it was a PlayStation 3 game as well, so it presumably shouldn't be that hard of a port to do.
But I also think that when Cloud was announced for Smash,
great.
It wasn't like Final Fantasy VII or really any Final Fantasy mainline game was coming to Wii U. It's not until this year or 3DS. It's not until next year that we're going to see 7, 9, 10,
10-2
on
12.
I actually can't remember if they announced
13?
But those games are coming to Switch next year.
Right.
So I don't know if it means that we're getting Persona. We already know that
Persona Q2, which features characters from Personas 4 and 5, is on the 3DS. So Joker is in that game. Joker is not a total alien to Nintendo platforms.
And Shin Megami Tensei 5 is a Switch exclusive, I think.
I think you're right.
That's also developed by Atlas. So I don't know.
Yeah. It would be one of the, we played the first couple hours of Persona 5, and like the only thing that I was thinking as we were playing was like, if I could take this with me and not have to be like tied to my TV, if I could grind out some of these levels while watching TV, like I would be, I don't want to say all in, but I would be all in on it. It just seems like it is not super well served by being on a home console.
In an interview with IGN after the show, Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé said of the choice to include Joker, quote, "It's emblematic of the approach that Mr. Sakurai and the team are taking with the DLC. He wants characters that are unique, different, to bring them into the Smash environment. So it's going to be tremendously exciting."
Okay, yeah, so that's the other part of it. We didn't even really talk Joker in Smash, right? So presumably there will be a Persona 5 stage, which is cool.
Music.
And the music, and look, if that game is nothing else, it is stylish AF, right? And so to get that cool music in Smash is going to be pretty neat. Where does this make your mind go in terms of who the other?
I know, it completely opens the floodgates.
Yeah.
Because I feel like up to this point, just like with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, we tend to think like very narrowly, where it's just like,
Yes.
well, what is already known and how does that fit into their plans?
Yeah.
Versus just like, no, it could be anything.
I mean, here's the thing that's crazy about it is that, well, because I think what we want to look for is we want to look for like other mascots, right? Like, I think that's what drives us to like Banjo-Kazooie or like Rayman or whatever. But like Joker is like, he sort of makes sense in the Smash universe, especially one that already has, the Kid Icarus characters and the Fire Emblem characters. Like, yeah, just put Joker in there. He looks fine, he'll fit in perfectly with them. But it is one of those that like we wouldn't have seen it until they showed it to us. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't even know where to begin thinking of like who's next.
It's funny how like easily caught up in the hype I am, because I haven't played Persona 5, so
Right.
I don't really have a lot of affection for this character, but the intro was so cool.
Yeah, it
and like
was.
the stuff from like you're saying Persona 5 is so stylish,
Yeah.
that I'm like, do I need to buy the like Ultimate Fighters Pack or whatever it's called?
You're
So
there, Mark.
mission
They
accomplished.
already got you.
Nintendo.
There's gonna be 4 more of these. 4.
Oh, okay. But also, it wasn't all roses for Nintendo at the Game Awards. They couldn't even win Best Family Game this year. That honor went to Overcooked 2.
Yeah, which is a great game. But it beat out Super Mario Party, Labo as a whole, which I guess is 3 separate games that they're just counting as one, and Mario Tennis Aces. So like,
which like Mario Tennis Aces,
fun.
Okay,
right? I understand, but Super Mario Party and Labo are both like exciting, unique experiences, especially Labo.
Hey, who votes on the Game Awards?
It is a body of like 60 gaming outlets, 60-ish, and then also the fan vote counts as like one outlet on its own. So yeah, I mean, it is probably people who are not very family gaming focused. And I would say of the choices, it was these 4 and Starlink Battle for Atlas, nominated for a family game. And I could see that Overcooked 2 is like the game that appeals most to, 20-something, 30-somethings that are, writing about games for a living.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately. In lots of contexts. We should start our own trade organization, like JD Power did.
Okay.
Right? Because JD Power just like a dude.
When is someone else at that firm going to make partner?
Who start? That's a really good question.
Because it's just JD Power and Associates.
It's like a monarchy.
Yeah. Someone else should make partner there. Sorry, so we make our own trade organization.
Okay, so we make our own trade organization.
Yeah.
And then we start giving out awards. And it's like any other award show. It only matters as much as people think it matters.
Sure.
So it can be a low-cost effort. We're just running out of our homes.
Right.
Mailing envelopes to people.
I mean, out of my home, probably.
Yeah,
I can read between the lines. All right, yeah, no, let's do it.
You know, and then like I don't know, maybe it gains traction, and suddenly the P&M awards matter.
Let's do it. The P&M awards next year, or let's not do it at the end of the year. Let's do it like mid-year sometime.
Sure, yeah.
So
throw everybody off their game.
There we go. So it's like
we'll be like the Emmys, where you're like, what was nominated? Like, how did that qualify?
Does that count for this year?
Or the Grammys were like, didn't that song come out like 5 years ago?
Yeah,
and it's now up for best new album.
They have put out 3 albums since.
Semi-related, Celeste won the Games for Impact and Independent Game of the Year awards, and The Messenger won Best Debut Indie Game. Cool.
Well deserved for those games.
Speaking of Super Smash Brothers, which we did a little bit ago.
Look, sometimes we add things to the news and items get moved around.
Edge Magazine recently interviewed Smash director Masahiro Sakurai and asked about his experience creating the 3DS exclusive game Kid Icarus Uprising, and he makes it sound like it was a really rough development. You normally don't hear Japanese developers talk about like the development process very much.
Yeah, they don't talk about work at all.
So this is what he says, quote, "I could say that this was close to becoming the most difficult project in my entire career." Little editorializing. This is the man who almost died creating Smash, like making one of the Smash games. So
right. Was actually hospitalized.
Both in terms of the team and the hardware. The team I had gathered differed greatly in culture and ways of thinking, so there was always confrontation. Think how bad it must have gotten.
Pretty bad.
For him to talk about it in those terms. In addition, back when we were developing the game, we still couldn't make full use of the power of Nintendo 3DS. Some improvements in aspects such as the middleware were made later on, but since the game was being made in the initial stages of Nintendo 3DS development, we had a really hard time doing what we wanted to. For example, I only found out that the Circle Pad Pro was going to be coming out when it was announced to the public by Nintendo. I wanted to make the game support this properly if I could, but this was impossible due to performance-related reasons. As a game in general, it's rich in content and enjoyable, and people have even asked for a modern port. However, I don't think that this will be possible. End quote. That, like, it must have been horrible. That he's not even like, when people ask me for a port, and maybe we'll see. He's like, it's not happening.
I don't think it's possible.
I don't want to go back to that part of my life.
Have you played Kid Icarus Uprising?
I haven't.
So it is a spectacular game. It achieves things on that tiny little screen and looks great in 3D. But it is borderline unplayable because of how you have to hold the 3DS with your left hand and then like aim with the stylus on the touch screen. It was badly in need of a 2-stick solution. But like, man, it's so cool and like innovative and like really takes the Kid Icarus concept from, just like a sort of regular side-scrolling kind of like exploratory thing and puts it in 3D and like gives you an arcade sort of like shooting section up front and then like something on foot afterwards. And it would be so satisfying if the controls were optimized for any control scheme that we recognize today. But it is this crazy mismatch of like using sticks and buttons and actually like tapping things on the touch screen. I am sure I'm among those people who've like wanted a port, a modern port with controls that make sense. And look, just because he thinks it's not possible doesn't mean it's impossible.
I think he's just saying, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and that's fine. Don't make him do it. Nintendo, don't make him do it.
I would like to see Sakurai do whatever he wants to do.
Absolutely.
Whether that's another Smash Brothers game, whether that is a different video game, whether that is quitting and teaching art to children in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Like,
if it is gardening, like I want him to do what he wants to do.
Here's a fun Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Easter egg.
This is quickly turning into our Smash Brothers episode.
If you have the Timmy and Tommy Nook Animal Crossing amiibo, you can scan it to unlock Timmy and Tommy's shop. You go to the Spirits mode, then Collection, and then the shopping icon, and you can spend SP on items and spirits.
Weird.
Yeah. It's just like a little Easter egg. I love that people are just... Here's what I always wonder.
Yes.
If people find these sorts of things just like accidentally,
Mm-hmm.
or if somebody who like worked on it leaks it to somebody because they're like,
Sure.
I put this in there and like I
I
want somebody to find
I don't
out.
want nobody to notice.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. We live in the internet era where I think people just want to be the first to discover something. So like, you know that there were Nintendo websites that were like, okay, as soon as we get this thing, as soon as we get our codes, we got to scan we got to scan all our amiibo into it and see what they all do and like put it all up on a website. So I would
Yeah.
I would
Oh
bet that the
man,
internet
and
found it.
you know that some freelancer who probably still has, like hasn't gotten paid for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally found
As
it.
soon as it unlocked,
Yeah.
was just like, oh man, like
Life's not fair.
Oh, and if you want to do something Smash related that isn't playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you can participate in the Splatoon 2 Splatfest this weekend.
Hey,
They're pitting heroes against villains. You decide, I guess, which group of fighters you like more.
do you like Mario? Do you like Bowser? Do you like Kirby? Or do you like
Ganondorf?
I hate this.
So you are team neither.
I mean, I'm team probably going to be playing Smash Brothers instead of Splatoon.
It starts at 8 p.m. Pacific time. It goes for 24 hours. This starts this Friday, and it's an international Splatfest.
Yeah, international. So everyone is playing all together and at the same time.
Hey, Stardew Valley is getting its multiplayer update tomorrow, December 12th.
Stardew Valley.
So it supports online voice chat as well as text chat with like 200 custom emojis.
Great.
2 to 4 Switches can connect via local wireless and play without the need for Nintendo Switch Online accounts.
It's nice.
You don't have one. And basically, what the multiplayer update is up to 4 people can play together online in the same town, starting either from scratch or as an add-on to like an existing save file. So I could take my save file, invite you to come join me. We'd both have our separate cabins.
Oh, okay, but on the same farm?
On the same farm.
Okay.
And the rest of the world is just like open to both of us.
Interesting.
So the story and everything would persist for both of us. We could romance characters. We could romance each other.
We could romance the same character.
We could try.
Get a good throuple going.
It also includes some new single-player content, like your horse being able to wear hats.
Man, games are so good right now. Like, I know Red Dead Redemption 2 is out there, with some realistic whatever. Can you put a hat on your horse?
Remember back in the day when Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out and we all laughed at horse armor?
Yeah.
And now I'm absolutely delighted that there's an update coming out that allows me to adorn my horse with hats.
Do you think horse armor is something that people still know and like still is that a reference that people are tracking right now? I would actually like to know if you're listening right now and you do know what horse armor is, or you don't know. I just want to know if you don't know. Write into Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com and let us know. What it is it was like one of the earliest forms of DLC that everyone laughed at.
Right. So to me, it is like the watershed moment.
Yes.
In DLC where it was purely cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess maybe it was armor, so maybe it did something.
Right. Also, was it real or was it just a Penny Arcade joke?
No, it was real.
It was real. Okay.
Yeah, it was real. And it was the first example that I know of as like an in-game microtransaction.
Right, that people turned on.
And it was like, this is ridiculous. I paid $60 for this game.
Why
the idea that I'm going to spend like $2 more, I laugh in your face. I am angry.
Right.
Like, that you would think that was a thing that I would do.
I am angry at being given the option to spend $2.
Well, we know how that turned out. A bunch of people spent $2 for horse armor, and that's how it's been ever since. In the Messenger-related news, a free DLC expansion called Picnic Panic will release next year. It promises a fantastic new standalone storyline and a handful of buoyant new levels.
Looks cool. The trailer looked fun. It looks it's got like some sort of like mini game looking sort of not vehicle segments because they're like riding a squid or something. But it Yeah, it looks like more Messenger, and I'm not ever gonna say no to that.
Yeah, it looks like a day at the beach is kind of the
Yeah,
general theme around it.
yeah, it's like a Dead or Alive the Messenger.
Hey, are you hungry for details on Dragon Quest 11S?
Mark, yes.
That's okay. So that's the Switch version of Dragon Quest 11, which still hasn't been confirmed for a Western release. By the way,
Yeah. Okay.
we should be getting more information about it during Dragon Quest stage shows at Jump Festa 2019. The shows will be held on December 21st and 22nd, depending on where you're located in the world, and maybe we'll learn more then.
Dragon Quest XI, another game that another role playing game, another Japanese role playing game that I would be interested in playing if only it were on Switch.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoy Dragon Quest, but I haven't picked it up for PS4 because I'm hoping to play it on the Switch.
Yeah. Have we talked about Tim Rogers' review, Kotaku review of Dragon Quest XI?
I don't think so.
So his review, which was came out like the same day as everyone else's, is like 45 minutes long and starts with him just saying like, I think this is one of the greatest game. I think this is the best game ever made. I'm just gonna talk about it. Does it have problems? I don't care. It's so good. It's a great review. Totally recommended. And yeah, it just makes me want to play it. But again, I've become a weird, stubborn person where I'm like, just bring it to Switch and I'll play it there.
Totally agree. And finally, a motion poster. A motion poster.
Look, you have a hard time saying it because it's a concept that doesn't make sense. I don't know why it exists.
A motion poster
There we go.
was released for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that's coming next year. It's like a live action CG hybrid.
Yeah.
So we didn't get like a full view of Sonic, but we see his
face is obscured in shadows.
Yes, but we do see that he has like human arms and human legs looking.
Yeah.
They're like muscly a little bit.
Yeah, and he's wearing New Balance sneakers. Which is a thing.
Yeah, sensible choice.
I guess good for running. The shoe of choice for the alt-right, which I don't know what to do with that, but it's true. Yeah, well, I don't have any opinion about a Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yeah, I don't either.
But look, we were praising very recently the realistic sort of look of the Detective Pikachu movie, and saying how funny it is to see, Pikachu with like real textured fur, or like, the Jigglypuff that's like kind of hairy. But I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of this, but so far I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I don't care enough. Like it looks like I'm like, oh, that's a little bit gross. But also I don't care enough about Sonic the Hedgehog to feel one way or the other.
Right.
One thing I did like is everything I saw online was like people who didn't like it were making fun of it, but I didn't see any anger. Like I didn't see people being like really mad that they ruined Sonic the Hedgehog or anything like that, which I thought was fun and surprising.
I mean, that's interesting. I would wonder what at this point it would take to ruin Sonic the Hedgehog. What would it take?
Right.
Like what could
That's a really good
what
point.
could Sega do to Sonic that the fans themselves have not already done to make
or
the
that they're not
worse?
prepared for.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of bad Sonic the Hedgehog everything out there.
Right.
And so it's like the fact that there's a bad, it's like when they make the Illuminations Mario movie.
Right.
If it's bad, that's okay. There's already a bad Mario movie. There's lots of bad Mario like animated media.
Yeah, tons of it.
So it won't matter.
Right. And you can't take away like the happy little plumber who's like running around and like hitting a coin block with his head. Like that will always exist. So you gonna see this movie or what?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll go opening night. All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. That is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you liked it, please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. All of that is very much helpful to us. Mark, when's the last time we were asking people, like really asking people to review the show for us?
It's been months.
It's been months. So just remember that next time we do start asking you to, like really, when we really get into it, I'm not saying that today is that day.
No. But just let it sit with you a
Just
little bit.
let it sit. That we haven't. Look, it's like when your mother calls and she's like, hey, "We haven't talked for a while." That's what this is. We haven't talked for a while. If you can share our episodes on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you share things on the internet, that helps us out a bunch, and we love it. On Twitter, I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nin Kart Society. We are also on Facebook, and the Facebook page is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers destroying Sonic the Hedgehog and saying thanks for listening.